After the game, Jalen Hurts did not seem very, very happy. I understand now he's sticking up for Nick Sirianni because he knows Nick Sirianni's job is up for grabs. And Fletcher Cox, he didn't sound very happy at the end of the game either. So now he's changing his thoughts. A.J. Brown is definitely not happy with Nick Sirianni. And I believe A.J. Brown is coming off an injury, and A.J. Brown was not going to put his body on the line in the first wild card game. He could have passed. I don't believe A.J. Brown was hurt enough where he could not show up and play in that game. And not having A.J. Brown in that offense absolutely affected them big time. And when you depend on one wide receiver in Smith, who had a sensational game, but no offense, they couldn't run the ball. The Buccaneers knew what they were going to do. They were going to use a lot of Swift, Gainwell, and try to use the running game to open it up for Smith. It didn't work out. They shut down the running game, and they knew that Jalen Hurts had to air the ball out. Jalen Hurts' game is not about throwing the ball. It's about using his legs. When they shut down the running game for Jalen Hurts and those running backs, then they knew they were one-dimensional. All they had to do was double-team Smith, and Smith still had a good game, but there was nobody else. Goddard was horrible, and he's been horrible all season long. Goddard was a high draft pick. We thought his development was definitely going to take a big step, but it hasn't. It's taken steps back, and losing A.J. Brown, they had nobody to fill in that spot that was going to help offensively, and that secondary, especially in the second half of the season, was absolutely disgusting. And Darius Slay getting hurt, that could be career-ending, but you will not see Darius Slay on the Philadelphia Eagles next year.
Nick Sirianni, a lot of tension with switching off play calling. Brian Johnson's going to call plays. Now I'm going to call plays. And that kind of thing affected them. And once Nick Sirianni wasn't just the team culture guy, the guy that the players liked, you look at these guys turning on him. And A.J. Brown, who was never a diva wide receiver, he was always a very humble star. This is the first year where we've really seen A.J. Brown have these kind of issues. Yeah, he had a sour ending with the Titans a little bit, but the Titans really didn't give him any help. Got rid of Corey Davis. They had Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. Derrick Henry was the only offensive star that they had. And I look at the playoff game. You knew they were going to run the ball because DeAndre Swift had a great game the first time they played against the Buccaneers. All of a sudden, you're going to game plan? Why are you not adjusting for it?
Well, Todd Bowles also is a very good defensive mind.
Yeah.
And Todd Bowles knows how the Eagles were going to run their offense. And one of the main reasons why they were running their offense with the running game was because their wide receiving core was not fully there. They knew that A.J. Brown was their playmaker. A.J. Brown was a top 3 wide receiver. If A.J. Brown didn't have such a beef with Nick Sirianni, I bet you he plays in that game. And it might have been a different score, especially when you're opening up the field, giving Smith an opportunity to run. Maybe Goddard's more open, and that running game could open up as well. And maybe Jalen Hurts wasn't pressured as much as he was in the pocket early in the game. So there was a lot of mistakes by the Eagles, and that has a lot to do with Nick Sirianni's coaching ability. And that has a lot to do with his coaches that he brought in after 2 coaches decided to go and take their coaching jobs in Arizona and in Indianapolis.
And Brian Johnson, the development of Hurts initially, he did well with. And then after that, it was just a train wreck. You look at him not even running Jalen Hurts a lot this year. That's a big reason he was an MVP candidate in 2022. Shane Steichen actually used him in that RPO type system, and they started to take it away. How many screens do they use? It got so predictable to the point where even the Giants defense, even the Cardinals defense that are so bad, were figuring it out. And that's why they're losing to so many good teams. In addition to the defense, which is abysmal. And Darius Slay, I think, will return to Detroit or something like that. He'll be on his way out. That team does not know how to coach defense when they don't have a pass rush.
And Nick Sirianni is an offensive coordinator. Nice guy, but he's a yes man type of coach.
Yep.
He's not much of a leader where you're going to follow him. This is a very talented team. They made some good moves at the trade deadline. Off of waivers, they brought Shaq Leonard in. Shaq Leonard is an all-pro type of linebacker. You brought Bryard in, all-pro player for a couple of years. And you can't win a game against a Buccaneer team that shouldn't have been there this year, that shouldn't have won the division this year. And Nick Sirianni flapping your wings on the sidelines like an eagle. How about being humble? When you're in your own stadium and you have your own fans holding up "Get rid of Sirianni" and having chants that Sirianni sucks, it says a lot about what your fan base thinks of you.